Hey everyone, welcome after a long time. The first quarter we met once, and the second quarter we are meeting now. Nice to see you all. Um, I will be giving a lot of updates on BCUBE and B3X. So let's go one by one. So first thing on the product side, like we release like new features, which is fixed amount per trade, which was released like a couple of months ago, but it was not really very stable. So we had to look into it. We had to dig a lot and tested it a lot. And right now it's working very well. So on the back end also, like we changed many things. Before we were using JavaScript library, but now we turned to Ruby on Rails. Things are very stable now and we are not facing any issues. So fixed amount per trade, we have it. So this is one thing what we made as a new addition to the existing products. Secondly, before like we were having agents like based on trends, it was making the trades like placing a stop loss or selling at the targets, these kind of things. But we also noticed that sometimes markets are really, really very volatile. And sometimes the trends to change, it's taking a very long time. And as we all know, like markets are very, very, very unpredictable these days. It was supposed to be more than $100,000 now by seeing into all the global news and everything. But that is not really happening as we have seen. So, holding a position for a very long time, um, the problem is like there are old users who would be fine with that one because anyway, we will sell them for profits sooner or later. But the people who are coming newly, they will not really get any new trades. And that makes them to wonder if everything is good, if everything is working or not. That's why we thought of like implementing the stop losses in the agents itself. So we have made some kind of parameters on the agents wherein agent will decide and it will put its own stop loss. So there will be stop losses for all the trades that is going on currently. And once it goes there, like it's going to trigger the stop loss. It's either the target or the stop loss. So it will not be holding for a very long time. So this is what we implemented after trying and testing once again for a very long time. And as you might have seen, like we have a new user interface on BQ platform. Things looks more crisp, more good, and it loads much faster than before the marketplace. And even for us, like to add any new strategy or new agent or to remove that one, it's more easy for us on the front end. So that's why we changed this front end. And even in the back end, as I said, like we are using now Ruby on Rails, which also simplifies certain things. For example, like before we were using this Fusion Auth for customer authentication. So that software was sometimes very unstable. This is the reason like why you had those login problems. We were asked to upgrade the softwares like every once in a month, every once in 45 days, 90 days. And that was not really good like for us to do that always. Before it was happening on cloud, which didn't need our intervention. But recently, like it's not really happening in the backend, but we have to manually do it. And also, we got like a bit shocked few months ago when we received that their Fusion authentication is prone to hacking. I mean, like nothing was hacked on our platform or some other platform, but I think probably something got hacked. People who have very low security or something like that. So we were really wondering like whether to have it or not. And that's why when we changed the backend on Ruby on Rails, now we have a different kind of system which doesn't need Fusion authentication, and it uses a very different version which is open source and which is very strong on for the cybersecurity. So in this way, like we have even strengthened our security. So and next thing is like what is the next things that is coming? See, we were thinking about a lot. What can be the future and what can be more attractive or something. Honestly speaking, the subscription model doesn't work. It simply doesn't work at all. So subscription model, why it doesn't work is because people come when markets are down, they get panicked and they stop to trade. Or like people put in a certain amount of money and then they remove the money and then they go to freemium plan and then they come back again. So this way, like actually, it's not a constant revenue stream, and it becomes very difficult for us to make any kind of predictions or any revenue projections. It's becoming very, very difficult. So sooner or later, like very, very soon, it's not sooner or later, but very, very soon, we will be transforming it to a profit sharing business model, because in this way, like we will not need to have any kind of freemium plan or something like that, because freemium is also not really useful, as we have seen, because people come for 14 days of free plan, they test it for 14 days, and there are some people like who come when we are making a lot of trades, so they get trades irrespective of whether they get good trades or bad trades. That's a different story. But sometimes when people are coming for a freemium plan, they don't have any trades at all. So those times what they say is like, okay, we were on the freemium plan for 14 days and we didn't get any trades. So can you please extend it? And we extend that for 14 more days, which needs a lot of backend work and everything once again to renew it. Or we have to issue them a coupon, which they have to insert it on the platform, and they get the extension of 14 days. And in that extension of 14 days, maybe that's not the best time when they came in. So this is also one of the problems, and they will not be satisfied. But if you come with like there is no barrier at all, whatever the amount that you are coming to trade with, but based on your tier level, like the profit sharing percentage can be different. Like highest tier level will have like very small profit sharing, and lowest will have like obviously higher profit sharing. So in this way, like even if people are coming and staying for 15 days or like 1 month or 2 months, then we are getting some revenues from it, because nothing is free and it's purely based on profit sharing. And at the same time, like user will also be able to test the product for a very long time and not just restricted to these 14 days. So we have to shift towards profit sharing, and we have to go fully towards custodian also. And the reason is like when you have a lot of users, there is a lot of infrastructure cost. First thing is like AWS, we have to host many things. And then there are like IP related softwares, because currently when we are, sending in so many orders to the exchanges, they classify it as a spam. So to make exchanges feel that it's not a spam, we use something called as IP services. So IP services will batch these orders from different IPs, which means like it will show them as if like one order is coming from Czech Republic, one order is coming from Slovakia, some orders are coming from Hungary, some orders are coming from Germany, something like that one. So that exchange will not feel that like this is a bulk order coming from the same place. If we don't use this kind of services, then exchanges, any exchange for that matter, they will ban our IP and we will not be able to trade on those exchanges anymore. So there is a lot of direct and indirect cost which comes with this kind of thing. But if we do custodian, then that will be just one account and several sub accounts in that one. So that can be handled like with just like one API call, or it can be even handled manually. If we are reading the signal coming from the AI models, we will be able to take action on it. But 24 hours, it's not possible. We monitor the trades, but the execution is always coming from the AI. So we can see it and we can modify and we can do that. And the cost becomes very, very, very low on the company side. And this will also be good for the users, because they will have to not worry about like watching their accounts whether the trade is going on fine or not, because we are doing that one. Or after each and every trade we monitor them. We use softwares like to see if everything is going on fine. For example, Sentry is one of the softwares that we use. So if there is any trade execution error, we get that error. So once we get that error, we know where exactly is the problem and what exactly is the problem, and we can immediately fix it. So in this way, like we can save a lot of effort and cost by going fully custodian. And secondly, it's good for the people also, because they don't watch the markets when markets are down. Like when certain coin is like in a drawdown of 10% or 20%, they get panicked. They get scared, like they might sell it, or they might like disconnect their API keys, which can be the very biggest problem for us. But over a period of time, if you put money and if you've seen this 1 year bracket, you will obviously win in that one. So that is the logic behind doing custodian, because on the long run, we always win. In the short run, there might be some uncertainty. We might lose something, we might gain something, but at the end of the day, we win. So that is the whole point of doing custodian services. And moreover, I've attended a lot of conferences in the last few months, like very, very, very hectic. It's been very hectic. And whenever I'm pitching the idea of BQ, people tell me only one thing, including some funds and other people, like this should be a B2B business model. Why? Because like they see us kind of like a fund managers, and in this way, like they were asking for what kind of returns that we made and everything. But on the platform, we have to show like if we used only 10% of the amount, this is the kind of returns that you got. But also it is true that like sometimes there are multiple trades going on at the same time. And until we had this option of like fixed amount per trade, always it was like, okay, you have 10% per trade if you are setting it. Then if you have $100, then $10 will go into the first trade. And then the second trade, when it is going, there is only $90. So $90 one is 10% again out of it, which is $9. So imagine the $9 trade makes good profit and $10 trade will make slightly loss, but still it will be in the loss. So we had to like extract all the trades and I passed on to them. And they said like, look, we are not an alpha fund, but we are more a beta fund. So there is difference between alpha fund, beta fund, delta neutral strategies. Like there are different type of strategies. So beta is not about beating the buy and hold. Beta is about like making some significant amount of returns on the money. Delta neutral is like you are neither long nor short, but you try to earn based on the funding fees. That I will speak about that more like when we go to B3X side. So alpha fund is something like where you are beating the buy and hold, which means you are having a Bitcoin from January 1st, 2025, and you sold it on, you will sell it on 31st of December 2025. So imagine the Bitcoin appreciation is 25 to 30%. But if your fund is making 30 to 35%, then you made an alpha on that return. So this is something like some funds focus on, which is alpha funds, but there are beta funds, which is like if you make like significant amount of money, like 30% or 25% or whatever it is, that is good for them. So these kind of beta funds, like whenever I meet, they tell me like, look, we have to structure this in a different way. And I was even given certain offers from Dubai-based companies, where I will also be there like next week. So I received some kind of offers also for the company, which I will come to the next point. So whenever I was speaking to them, like I was getting more and more convinced, like yes, like we need to onboard the B2B side more because churn is very, very, very high in this business from the retail side. As I said, like retails don't have big amount of money, which I completely understand because even I'm a retail, so even I think in the same way. We have like fixed amount of money for trading, and beyond that we cannot stretch ourselves, and we might need that one for something else. But funds, they have set this amount of money for only this purpose. So even if you are on a drawdown, it's not a big problem to them. They can wait for like 1 year, 2 years, or something like that one. The money is locked, and during that period of time, you can make good amount of money. So this business is like more B2B inclined. That's how I see it. And we have to go in that direction. So yeah, as I said, like this Dubai-based fund and couple of others, like they are also having their own hedge funds, but they cannot trade in more than five assets. Because in Dubai, like right now, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Tron, and TON, which is Telegram token. So these are the only five tokens which is classified as kind of like regulated cryptos, like where you can trade with a regulated entity. So they were asking for it. I have done some pitch deck, and I'm also presenting it to some people like when I'm in Dubai next week. Another topic is about marketing. I hear about this one a lot, but I will tell you like what is marketing in Web3. It doesn't work with your Google ads. It doesn't work with this kind of Facebook ads. It doesn't work with like shilling, like just by posting something. It doesn't work at all. As I said, like I'm going to several conferences, as you all know, and I'm asking like there some of the very big CMOs like how to do marketing like in Web3. And like what they tell me, the marketing in Web3 happens through partnerships. So you have to partner with relevant company, relevant Web3 project in the space, and they should be doing something similar to that. Otherwise, you should do something like they're not anywhere related to you. Like for example, a Certic. Let me take. So Certic provides smart contracts audit. This is what they do. Penetration test and several other things, cyber security related things. So we have to partner with them. We have to make this co-marketing. So in that way, their community will come into our community, and our people might start to follow them because we are their partners now. So we exchange somehow. So their community, maybe some people are interested in this kind of products, even who follow us. It's not everybody. So the funnel becomes like very, 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 very small, and very small amount of people will come. And these kind of partnerships, we have to do so many, so many, so many, so regularly. And if it is like some way related to our line of business, it's good, like a DeFi or something. But if it is not that way of closeness to us, it's the chances of like getting known or getting any leads from that is very less. But only one thing, you will get visibility. But if you do this kind of partnerships, I'll tell you, like, there is a second thing. When we go to these kind of events, like I'm sure like at least few of them who are on this call might have gone to any of these kind of conferences, like crypto conferences or something. They always do side events, which means there is a main event which is going on, like where we purchase the tickets and we go inside. But side events is like something on the backdrop of these big events. There are some side events going on. For example, in Token 2049 in Singapore, there is always a side event of Solana, or like side event of Sui, side event of like exponential finance or impossible finance, or like Aave or someone else, Polygon or someone else doing it. So we go there, like it's a side event. They will also hire a hall. We have to apply on Luma app. We go there, we speak to them, something like that. So this kind of events also we need to do. And this one has to be done in partnership with these kind of people whom we call as partners. And this is going to be like very, very, very expensive. It's single thing, like right now, like next week when there will be Token 2049 in Dubai, the minimum price for this one is around 5,000 euros minimum price. And if you want to make it like in a, even in a decent place, not very good place, it's between like 10 to $15,000. So this is the price like what we are looking at. And these kind of things we have to make it again and again and again and again, like in so many places. And people will come there, and then we will have to like take down their contact details and everything. And most of the people in the side events, like as far as I know, because even I do it many a times, we are just going there to network with people, or like to have some good food there. That's it. Otherwise, like no one is going seriously to learn about the project, to know about the project. I am going to like a lot of DAI projects, side events like decentralized AI or decentralized finance or decentralized finance AI intersection events. There I'm going to meet some investors, or there I'm going to meet some partners, something like that one. But mostly, predominantly, people are not going there for that. But you will get once again the visibility. So it's just about brand awareness that you will increase, but not really the leads. It doesn't work that way. Like these things have to keep doing for a very long time, and probably like a little bit we can get it. So what I see is like going making conferences with different kind of projects relevant to finance or something, or AI or something, co-marketing and partnerships. And there is also like people keep asking me like why not KOLs, and why not like YouTubers and everything. I'll tell you honestly, like one of the biggest YouTubers in the space, like Crypto Banter, so Ran. So I got Ran's contact through one of our angel investors at BCUBE. When I run to him, I took his name, and he was very kind, and he was talking to me. I explained him everything. He was super excited about it. And then he put me across his secretary. And then I had a call with his secretary. We exchanged some messages. And what they were asking is like 1% of the total supply of the token. And it will be a marketing support for 2 months. And I asked him, like, okay, you have your own Discord channel, Telegram, and YouTube. So what exactly can we expect for this 1% supply? And his answer was like YouTube videos. And I said, like, is it an exclusive video or an AMA, like where I can come and talk to your audience? How does it work? So that's a kind of like news kind of a live setup what Crypto Banter makes every day, but it's a 1 hour video thing. At the last 10 minutes, there is something where he speaks about projects generally. So in that one, the 10-second slot will be given to us, just a shout out. Like, look, there is this product and this is what they do, and they have a token. And I said, like, okay, will you speak something about the token, about use case in the ecosystem, or some long-term vision things or something like that? They said, like, no, we just tell about the project and we'll put in the link in the description, and they have to do it. Honestly, tell me, if I do that, it will be giving anything to us? I don't think so. What happens is like 1% of the supply, they will just dump it. If you tell me now, like, I can try it, I will do it right now, today itself. But you just tell me, you just give me the permission, like whether you like this idea of giving 1% of the supply, 10 seconds slot on the YouTube video, which is like a weekly slot. Not every day. They don't do that every day. Weekly once, they will speak randomly, like that, like 4 times in a month, overall 8 times in 2 months period. And we don't know like when they will exactly start to dump also, because I was asking, like, is it something like a vesting, or is it something like a milestone based, or how it works? No, 1% of the supply directly we have to send it to our wallet, and then it's with us, and we don't dump it, but we will sell it slowly. And many of the projects have told me, like, once we give to KOLs, like without any vesting or something, they do whatever they want to do and they will not wait for us. So this will like result in dump more than pump. So this is the reason like why I canceled some of the engagements with some YouTubers like this one. And no one wanted to make like a very dedicated video. I even asked, like, can you make a dedicated video for 10 minutes? Or if you just make like an AMA session for 10 minutes, I'll just come and speak, and then you can make it. Because once you go online and when you speak to people about the product and about what you do and everything, then a lot of people will get interested. And when I ask them, like, okay, you make this 10 seconds in a video per week, that's totally fine with me. But you have a lot of traders on your Telegram and on your Discord. Can you please give us, like, just website name, just one liner, one line pitch about the project, just a website, and just the token contract address, or just saying like this is the token, or like CoinGecko link or something like that. Just can you do this one on Telegram and Discord? I will be more than happy to do that. But they said like, no, 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 we will not do on Telegram or on Discord. We'll just make this video. Orally, we will say like bcube.ai. It's not even bcube.ai. People cannot search it. It's b-cube.ai. And many people will confuse like cube is cube or kqube. They will not know it. And I said like, how they will come to know? And they said like, no, every link will be in the description. Who will read the description, honestly? I don't read the description at all when I go to the YouTube videos, even though someone is saying, because I'm going there to listen to something. Once I listen to it, then I'm not even there. And moreover, like in a video of 60 minutes, I don't think like someone's attention will be so great that they will listen to entire 60 minutes thing. And also they have this kind of thumbnails or whatever it is, not thumbnails, but some kind of points on the YouTube videos, like where you can just jump, what Zero also makes for our videos. So in these things, like they will just go, they want to listen to this FUD or they want to listen to some other project, and they just go from there. So this is not really very good, and it's in our interest. But of course, like if you people tell me like to go ahead, like I will definitely go ahead. Like I have a couple of people and everybody is giving the same deals or similar deals. Everybody is asking for 1% supply and something like that one. And also like market, to be very honest, it's not in a good shape now, if you ask me. It's highly uncertain, and no token is like really moving up. If some tokens are like just trying to move up, but they move up very less than compared to how much they're dumping. They dump more than they pump. And even on Binance also now, which was supposed to be like a very hot exchange before for many of the tokens. Once it gets listed on Binance, everything was pumping before, but that is not true at all today. Many things like what is getting listed on Binance is getting dumped very badly. And even if you have seen, Binance started to list a lot of scam tokens like Mubarak, Broccoli, and all these kind of meme tokens. And what is happening, like people are like trading and they are losing money heavily on these meme tokens, and which has nothing to say or something. And then once it dumps, like people are losing a lot of money and they're asking Binance like what's going on, and then they're delisting it. So they listed something and they delisted like many tokens in the past, just like in past 3 to 4 months, which is not giving a good impression in the industry. Because whenever I'm going to events, like everyone is speaking about that one. Like Binance is not a very big movement now anymore in the exchanges. In fact, like there is no such exchange like which is having that kind of credibility anymore. Binance is losing it slowly because of a lot of market manipulations that is happening by market makers. Quite recently, we saw what happened with OM tokens. So OM token was down by 90% in just like 30 minutes. So this was like, games of the market makers. They always like short in the futures. They are having some bags in spot market, but they short that in the futures. So they make huge amount of money. Then the bags what they have in spot market, even if they sell it at a loss, it's not a big thing for them because imagine like you're shorting 10x on the perp contracts and you are having just 1x of spot market. So you're having $1 million worth of positions and you are shorting $10 million worth of the same token. So you're making 10 times the more money. And even if you're telling to everybody, like I'm seeing like a lot of people are coming public and saying like, no, it's not us who sold it. No, we are still having it in the spot market. Like, see, our wallets are not touched. Yes, your spot markets are not touched, but you are shorting the same token on the perpetual contracts. And for that one, no one can have any proof or something because perpetual contracts are not the real tokens. It's just reflecting the prices. It's just inverse perpetual contracts. So this is what is happening in the market. This is like purely manipulation, gambling, and very disgusting thing. What is going on in the markets now? So no amount of like any kind of marketing or any shilling is like coming to any help. We are seeing like a lot of projects making this kind of programs. They're making AMAs like airdrops. Nothing is working right now in the markets. Markets are like really very dull, and I don't think like it's a good time to make it. But still, once again, I said I have set the conditions and I have set the terms. If you think like 1% makes sense, you decide, and I will definitely do it. Because for me, giving 1% for 10 seconds video doesn't make sense. But if you really want to test it once, like I'm fine with that too. So yeah, like this is it about it. And also you see like one thing is true that like we have to change this business model. Otherwise, this present business model is not going to sustain because we are running very low on our runways. We are having like hardly like 1 month of runways or something, and this is like very difficult times. This business model has to change, revenue has to come, and only then we can survive. Because with 1 month of runways, I can think of like couple of options. I have two options. One thing, I've already spoken to some of the people who are ready to buy BCube and take over the company from here. And then probably they will go on with the same quant trading platform and everything because IP and everything will be sold completely like SFSS and everything. So they will continue the same business how we have. Probably they will little bit pivot and they do something else. And maybe like they will have like different ideas of doing something else and also like making new type of businesses or like adding market making or whatever it is, and also bringing new utilities to tokens. These are some of the things that I have already discussed with a couple of people who have shown interest to buy BCube. So in this way, like investors protection of the funds will always be there. Someone is taking and they will take care of the company very well. And another idea that I have is merging BCube with B3X. So once B3X raises the money, these two will become like one company, two tokens. Everything will go on properly. And also like with B3X, like if it gets merged, it will be in BVI, British Virgin Islands. So we are not bound by any kind of stupid EU law, like don't do this, don't do that, and be like this one. And you cannot make the distribution of the profits to people or something. Because before we also considered that one, like when we were making very good revenues, like back in 2022, until that, like we were extremely profitable. In 2021, on our balance sheet, we made a $1 million profit, solid. But in 2022, that was not so much, but still it was going on. And afterwards, like it became very, very difficult, like when we went to the scrutiny and everything. And now it's becoming very, very, very difficult because you have to imagine this situation. If we make more trades, then people who are having old trades, like they will not like it. But if you don't make new trades, the people who came newly, they will not like it. So the whole model, like how we operate, that itself is like very difficult to convince everybody. But I understand from both the point of view, because if I am having five positions and if something more is being added, I can't do that, right? Like because my money is stuck. But of course, like now we have fixed amount per trade, which can solve this problem to an extent, but not completely, of course. But on the other side, like if I'm coming something to a platform newly and if I don't see the trade, then I will not be excited. Then I will just go back somewhere else. So this is also the problem. And when we do custodian services, like people give the money. I know like people who are here on the call or like several other people that they will be willing to do that. But several other people will not be willing to do that. So this is a major problem that we have. Like, I mean, we once upon a time we were working on bringing a very good product because the product honestly was not so good before. But since the last 1.5, 2 years, like it's been very stable and it's getting better and better every time when we go forward, every on annual basis, like it's doing good. So now we have a good product. But as many people who were trading like 2 years ago and to see now, there are not that many people who are doing it. For example, I was just asking the CTO to get me some statistics on who is using what product and what kind of things and everything. The fixed amount per trade is used by only 31 people as of now. So for 31 people, we had to spend like 2 months of time to make all these things possible, testing and everything. So for 31 people doing such things doesn't make sense at all because what customer wants is to make good money on the product. That's it. So if that is the goal, then we have alternative ways to make it like much more cheap, in a much more easy way and scalable way. But doing it in any other way, it's not simply profitable, and it's very difficult to manage it and to do that and to retain people. It's very, very difficult. Extremely in this type of markets, it's becoming very, very, very challenging. So that's why I'm left with two options now, which can be both can be a very great options. One thing is like I sell this company to somebody, there will be a new management coming in, and they will have a new vision for the company, and they will be having all the tokens because all the tokens we will have to give it to them, and they will come out with new utilities to it, and they will come out with new services to it and everything, and they will drive it with their own new vision for the company. So this is good in the interest of all the people, all the users of BCube, all the token holders of BCube. So they will have all the new things, and then probably the community can discuss with them to see like what they can do, and what they can do better than what we did in these years. So this is one part. Of course, like this is very painful part because um, I never thought about these things like in my whole life, like when I started, because it's very much bound to me because it's not like 2 or 3 years that I'm in this company. Like I'm in this company for 7 years now with BCube. So it's very hard decision to see that, but I thought about so many things, like how best I can do it, but it's very difficult. Once again, as I said, so in the interest of people, in the interest of business, in the interest of company, in the interest of token holders, what is good, that is the best thing that I am doing it. So either BCube will be sold very soon or it will be merged with B3X. So once it's merged with B3X, then we will think about like different kinds of businesses. Look, like I had like a lot of different ideas. Like one, we had that kind of funds, like giving dividends through the tokens and everything. But the country where we were before, not Italy, that was saying like, no, we will classify it as a security tokens, and you cannot do this, you cannot do that. Then we came to Italy, but even there, like because we are regulated and everything, we cannot do so many things that we want to do. In British Virgin Islands, you can do so many things as long as you are not doing anything which is illegal or crime or something like that. In business you can do anything, everything can be explained. It works very, very, very smoothly there. So If we merge together, then also for B3X investors, like it will be a value add because they're not just investing in one company, but they're investing in one company, but they are getting the benefit of two companies there. And also like BCUBE has its own fund, which it has launched on B3X. So all those fund manager fees and everything will go to BCube. This is how like BCube gets benefited. I have been asked this question like a million times, if not more, how BCube benefits from B3X. This is a very good explanation. If someone asks, please tell them that. BCube is launching its fund or it has already launched its fund on B3X, right? So we charge something called as protocol fees every month. That protocol fees goes to B3X because that's the protocol which is allowing the fund to be launched. And there is also something called as like profit sharing for the fund. So this entire profit sharing goes to BCube. It doesn't come to B3X. The smart contracts are designed in that way that all the contributions and all the profits goes to BCube. So this is how BCube makes money with B3X. So the more the TVL on B3X, more the profits that BCube is making. And this money is not coming to B3X. B3X makes money only with protocol fees. Protocol fees is a monthly fees on the AUM, certain percentages. So this is all what B3X gets. If if a fund manager, for example, one of you wants to launch your own manual fund on B3X, you can come and launch. You will have your own management fees, you will have your own profit sharing, you will have your own fees. All these fees will go to you, but only the protocol fees goes to B3X. And what other things B3X gets? B3X also gets those trading volumes, those trading fees, and everything goes to us. So that is the business model what we have. You are, as a fund manager, you get all your fees, like what you are coining yourself, like entry fees, exit fees, management fees, everything. B3X gets only protocol fees from you. Plus, all the trading is happening on B3X, so we get those trading fees for ourselves. So these are the two fees that B3X gets, and BQ, because it's launching the fund on B3X, which has already launched, all the revenues what it is making goes directly to BCube. So the more the TBL, more the money BCube makes. So these are the two options that we have, and I'm thinking very seriously because it's very difficult like to think about this situation because it's been long time that I ever had like a peaceful sleep because I always think about this one, always think about like what the best thing that I can do. One thing I can tell you, someone can agree or disagree, I've worked very hard for this company, really very hard for this company, and I've worked with like highest standards of professionalism and integrity. I've did everything my best that you could do, because from your side I totally understand all the things that you say and all the criticism and everything. I completely accept it and I take it. But if you sit in my place, you will come to know like what is the real situation. It's not so easy. Like markets are like very violent, very different. Every day there is a new narrative. There is meme tokens coming out. There is no altcoin rally. The moment you think of like, okay, let me go to KOLs, like then giving 1% of it at this price, at this liquidity level doesn't make sense. So there is a lot of things. That's why we want to do many things, but we can't do that one. It's very difficult to do. That's why, like, when I was discussing about a company to few people, they showed interest in buying BQ because of IP that we have, the patent pending applications, because of the WASP license that we have in Italy. So these are very good things for them to, enter Europe or European companies to expand their base. And they are already like a multi-million dollar companies. So for them, it's not a big deal. They just take and they have like all the users. They will continue with that one. They will bring in a new business model. They will bring in a new token use case. Everything they can do that one. So in this way, the company remains alive, and I can see the company growing and becoming something. And all the investors, investments into tokens and other kind of things will be very progressing. And at the same time, all the products that we have developed, that will be further developed, and they will be having like much more different strategies, or there will be more DeFi strategies, whatever it is. So you will have like a lot of other mixes also. So that's why like now there is this hard decision to take whether we have to merge it or whether we have to sell it. We will do what is in the best interest of everybody, and I will keep you updated. I think like by end of May, like we definitely have to take some decision on this one, so everything will be very fast. So After this one, let me shift to B3X side. So B3X side, as you have seen, like we launched the mainnet, and after the mainnet, we have also launched the testnet on Rise Chain. Rise Chain, because Rise Chain is funded by Vitalik Buterin himself. And on Injective side, like we are getting a lot of help and support for the marketing side. They have given their own ambassadors and 100 KOLs. They're all posting differently about us, and we are also getting a lot of visibility. And Injective has also committed $500,000 in TVL contribution, which means they will be putting in $500,000 in TVL of B3X Global Asset Systematic Fund. So they will put this money on a weekly basis, something like $100,000 every week. So they put this money until it becomes like 500K. And with this 500K, like we will be managing this fund. And I also some soft commitments from other protocols and everything up to 300K. So there will be like 800K totally in the TBL. With that 800K TBL, like we will be generating good amount of revenues. So all those revenues will be put back into BCube, and that money we will use it for something else for BCube things. So BCube is like going on very steady, but investments, like we are still waiting for a good investors to come. We have one or two community-based investors, community-based VCs, but we don't want to make that one because we made it with BCube. Like for example, Gains Associates, Brotherhood, all these are like community VCs. So basically what they do is they take allocation from you at a very cheaper price and they give it to retail investors. That I can do it with our own community people if it is needed. But the goal was to bring in very big investors. But the problem is like right now, the market conditions are not in the favor of people cutting the checks. Secondly, many people have already invested the money in projects, but those investments are locked because they haven't hit the TGE yet. So these are like different kinds of problems. Like some VCs like have lost the money, some VCs like have put the money, but they have been locked in the tokens, which has not been listed so far. And some other VCs like they don't have anything at all, so they are not doing any kind of deals. But still, like we are in the loop of some good investors already. I took the connections and contacts from other friends in the Web3 industry, like whose company was funded like last year. So we are getting the introductions to them, we are speaking to them and everything. They like the overall project, they like the overall vision, and they would like to like fund us. So that's why we are just waiting for this 500K to come. It will be coming and fulfilled completely by end of May. So we will have this money, and B3X will be growing from here. And many of the features what we have, like for example, one click trading and everything. Hector wrote me a very good email on product feedback. I was very very happy about that email because that had like a lot of substance in it, and there was something for me to think about and to introspect about that. So all those features are coming in our own version, because currently we are using the liquidity layer of Injective, which means like they're providing all those tokens, liquidity and everything. So we don't have like much of independence to add something or remove tokens or something like that. But now we are building our own liquidity layer. So the project is very innovative because I'll just explain to you in very simple way. If you know Athena, Athena mints stablecoin USDE. How? They have a market neutral strategy, which means they have Ethereum in spot and they short that in the futures. So the funding fees what you have is what they make, and that funding fees will be minted as a stable coin. You can do that on B3X. You don't need Athena kind of protocol. And if you want to build your funds, you can build it. And now our fund builder is efficient to build funds in your own language. You want to try it in German, it's possible. In Spanish, it's possible. In Portuguese, it's possible. Or in Hungarian, it's possible. In Chinese, it's possible. Even in Arabic, it's possible. So you can write in your own native languages to build your own funds. So you can build the funds, you can make this kind of strategies. And if you have any project of your own, you can list on our protocol, B3X. And once you list it, your own token becomes a collateral to trade on anything else. For example, if you launch your own XYZ coin, that XYZ coin is now a collateral to trade on BTC or to trade on Tesla or to trade on Google or to trade on gold or anything. So you can trade anything with everything as the collateral. So that is the complete picture what we have about it. And every time when you are testing a new strategy on the fund builder, all the strategies are getting like recorded on the LLM models. Once we have good amount of strategies on the LLM models, we will feed all these strategies to an AI agent. And then AI agent will autonomously trade based on all the successful strategies that it has. So this is kind of like an agentic framework, quant agentic framework, or built on top of B3X. So B3X is a kind of like trading derivatives protocol infrastructure layer, which can be used to build like several products on that one. So this is what like everybody is liking because this is like super scalable, and many things are possible. Otherwise, like you need like whole lot of infrastructure to make this one, but now you don't need it anymore. B3X is enough. If one thing is there, like that is going to solve all the things. So I'm also planning to complete the fundraising of B3X by end of May. um yes, I think so it will be possible to complete by end of May. If we didn't complete by end of May, then we will refund all the money that we have raised for B3X from super, like from super clients, like what we had before, like a minimum 10K or like whatever we raised from minimum $2,000 USDC or anything. Everything will be refunded by end of May. And this is the reason like why we also put the clause in the SAFT, if you have read it, that we have a refund clause there, which means like if we are not hitting certain mark of investments, then everything will be refunded. Because I want to make sure your investments will give you a lot of profits. Because the kind of investors that I'm speaking to, if they come on board, we might delay the listing a little bit. Because our goal is not to like take the money from investors now and go to TGE very immediately, like next month or 2 months later on that one. Now this will be a pre-seed, and then we will make a seed like much more at a higher valuation than what the community has got. It is possible, like I'm seeing like all these fundraising things now, it is entirely possible. And when we go to TGE, then we will have like a lot of visibility and everything, because this is DeFi, the world is very big. This is also one of the things, the major advantage that B3X has, because it's a decentralized thing. Decentralized thing has like a huge thing in blockchain world, because blockchain is decentralized. So because this is a DeFi thing, we will have like several partners. We have already partnered with like several people. Combined TVL of our partners is between 200 to $250 million. So we have a lot of commitment from them as well. Like once we are going to the mainnet. So once we have all this kind of setup, then I will be very confident. Like, guys, look, these are the main lead investors that we have, and next round will be raised at this valuation. So I'm happy. Don't worry, and everything will be fine. But the problem is like, if we don't get them, then I will see like whom else I can get. But in the worst case scenario, like if I don't get those kind of investors, like whom I have in mind, like very top tier investors, then I will not like accept like any small investors. So at this point in time, like we will refund all the investments like what we have made. So once again, like I iterate and I stand on my words that I need to get good investors, and the kind of investors that I have in my mind, the tier one investors. If I'm not getting it, then we will not, like go on with these investments. And all the investors money what they have given for B3X has been kept in a very good wallet. I mean like it's a cold wallet. So it's very safe, and we are just keeping it there, and we are not going to use anything. Once we get the main investors money, only then the action starts. Otherwise 31st of May will be the last date. um TGE, if you're still asking me like when we are planning to do, as I said, like we are not planning to do immediately. Maybe it will be in Q4. But in the Q4, like by that time, we will be bringing in those kind of big names and all the market makers and everybody. Getting market maker is not a big thing. We can get it. If we just pay them money, like they will, it's just like a service. It's not a big thing. We can get Wintermute, GSR, whomever we want. And listing on exchange is also not a big thing now, because I also made connections with exchanges. Like one of the exchanges that we will definitely list will be KuCoin. Bybit is also there. Like we have connections. Until we pay the money, everything is possible. Bybit is asking for 800K. I'm making it public. Uh, KuCoin is asking for 450K currently. And Gate is asking for 400K. 120K is for Mexi. So every exchange has their own, prices. If we pay that, plus if we have some good project and good people trading on it, then it's entirely possible. So yeah, so that's it from my side, my update. And if you have any questions, like please go ahead and ask me. I'm waiting for your question, guys. Please go ahead and ask me. Simon, Dennis, Diego, Zero, Hector, Genovex. I'm shocked about the news on BCube, honestly, but I get sometimes hard decisions are needed. My question is about BCube. Look, as I said, I've been always trying best. So these are the only two options that I have, and I'm doing everything like in the best interest of BCubians. Honestly, like this deal, like what I have also discussed with investors is like we will not be getting any money as founders for selling the company per se. So whatever like they will be making the deal, I've asked them to invest back in the company itself, either to buy the tokens or like to do some other kind of incentive programs. But it should be in the good hands because I want to see it growing. So that's the only point. And yeah, like sometimes we have to take hard decisions. I might understood incorrectly, but do you already have someone interested on buying it? Yes, we have three parties interested already. Oh, Harvey. Okay. V3X is not 100% launching. We are left most likely with selling the company, right? Well, like if merger is the option, then yes, because as I said, like when we are pitching the project, like we are also pitching right now that how about like giving you a piece of BCube and a piece of B3X also, because we want to see it as one entity with two different tokens, which works individually. But it's a good proposition to you. And some investors say like, yeah, we are good. It's a good proposition because it's an existing business, whatever it is. It needs some capital, but it can go on. Um, yeah, like, and even they say that like, yeah, you need to pivot it, you need to do that. Like, it's not that like we listen to everything what they say because they don't know everything also. Like even we don't know everything, but some things what they say make sense, and some things what they say like doesn't make sense. But to answer your question, yes, like I mean, like we have to get that full money what we are looking for B3X. If we get that money from good investors, we will do this merger and we will move the company from Italy to BVI, because being in Italy, even if we go through the Mika and if we get Mika and everything, I don't think like still it's so simple to launch new services. For example, like right now we are applying for like custodian, brokerage. But if we want to do something else, like for example, if we send BCube tokens to somebody because if they are asking us the tokens, that is considered as over the counter trading, like OTC, and that is illegal to do according to MiCA regulations. And there's many regulations and many difficulties are there, like to do any small kind of transactions also. So it becomes very difficult. So if we move it to British Virgin Islands, BCube type of business what we have, it doesn't need any license at all. You can just do it if you want, because it will be treated like a software company. Even if you do custodian services, it's just a kind of like declaration what we have to give. But there is no strong regulations or anything as such. So that's why we have to do it in that way. I think we should work towards say merger between the two companies. BQB is nothing without you and your vision. Um, Harvey, I don't know honestly. I feel that like many of them are happy with the way I have run the company so far, and some of the people might not be really happy in the way like how I have led the company. Um, I don't know. I don't want to say anything because maybe they are right, maybe they are wrong. I don't know, but I don't know. Like maybe I feel like there is someone else like who can be better than me. you know, because for me, like it's very emotional and very difficult decision, to be honest. Because even when I'm speaking to them, like it's not a good feeling for me to even think about this kind of possibilities, and it makes me like really very sad when I think about these situations also. But as I said, like I can only tell you, like I've always done my best in the situation in which we were in, and with the limited funds that we had. And even now also, like from next month, like I said to my team, like, look, we don't have so much of runways, so we have to do it. And they said like, okay, like, look, don't pay us anything, like we will be there with you, and we will do this together. And then even I said like, look, I'm already like stopping my salary, like I don't take anything at all. But I'm fine, like I'm fine to work for like 6 months, or like even if it takes like longer than that, like I will do it. I will do it like without, I'm not getting paid or something. That's totally fine. And like we four founders, like already, because everyone doesn't take any salary. And even I was taking like a very minimum thing, like which according to the law, I have to take it if I have a contract. So other two people also said like, no, even we don't need it. So yeah, this is the best that we can do. And even other employees also accept it to us. So I don't know like whether really someone else can turn it around, and they see it like how I originally saw it, that vision what I had for the company. Um, I don't know. I don't know. But if I find the funds like for B3X from good investors, like, because my idea is like, I know like what mistake I did during the token sale of BCube. If I wouldn't have taken those, community VCs and all these dumpers kind of VCs, like it would be very different. But we went in like, okay, like there is community VC, so what, like we will just get the money from him. If they're giving it, they're just giving like some tweets or something like that. So we didn't know exactly about those investor profiles. But now if I think from 2025 point of view, and like seeing a lot of things now around the world going around a lot, and then now I know like what kind of VCs we need to have for the success of the project, because these VCs are like very crucial, I'm telling you. um, have you seen any DeFi projects like which gets launched? Immediately they will have 5 million, 10 million TVL. Do you know where those TVLs are coming from? It's put by your own VCs. It's put by your own ecosystem people. For example, like Sui Lend, which is a lending platform on Sui, they have millions of dollars of TVL. Who gave them that one? I know the insider news. Sui Foundation has given it. I'm telling it openly because they cannot deny it. On the smart contracts, you can see where the money is coming from. And it's been coming from their VCs. Even now, like when I'm talking to VCs, like I'm asking them, like, can you also contribute for TVL? And they're saying, like, yeah, sure. How much you want? We are like, okay, $500,000, like how we asked to Injective. And they said, like, yeah, okay, like we will make this 500,000. So if you have like five VCs, then that's 2.5 million in TVL. And with that 2.5 in TVL, like if you're making like a 1% profit every month, you make like around, $250,000. So that's how we are $25,000, like that. That's how you make money. And that's how these projects are also doing. And like right now, like you are not a US guy, some VCs are not interested. Some people ask me like, okay, like where do you live and everything? And I said like I live in Hungary and everything. And they were like, oh, you're probably you're a scammer, like because I don't even know like where you come from. What can you even say? Like, I mean, like if you're in US, like you're a US person, it's pretty easy like to get the money. And I'm seeing like recently some of the projects that raise the money also. You just go like there is one thing like what I will leave website, like you can go there and you can see every day like the kind of funding some projects are getting. Just check the founder's profile. They don't have any profile at all in what they're doing. Honestly, they don't have any profile at all. They're getting money only because they know somebody like very, very closely. That's it. Otherwise, like their profile or their education or their experience is nowhere compared to mine. But still, we don't get it. And that's why like I've decided like either we get like money from very top VCs, and then like we will go forward with their investments, and I will accept the investments what our community has given in B3X. And if I don't get that kind of investors, then we will give back money to all the B3X investors, like what they given us. Because I am not a person like, I'm not a grifter, I'm not a scandler or something, saying like, okay, like we will use your money now and let's see. Let's see is not the thing. Your money is my money. And I think in the same way. I care for it. And that's why I'm doing all these things because I care for your investments and what is good for your investments, what is better to protect your investments. That's all I am doing. So that's why, like, I'm not even like, selling the company. I don't get anything in my return because everything will be public and all the documents and everything we will make it public if it happens. And you can clearly see that there will be no contribution towards the founders. Like everything will be put back into the company to use it for the company itself. So yeah, but if B3X gets it, then again, like I will come back to everybody, whether they want to see the merger or not, and you take the decision, and then we will see. Once you said this was your baby and you will never give up on him, and you would make your best to succeed with this project. I say that even today, but saying just the words, if it makes you happy, then I don't want to say it just to make you happy because it will be a lie. Because to run the company, there are several things that I have to think about, not making emotional statements. There is team to take care of, there is people to take care of. We need users, we need like proper money to trade with. There's a lot of things going on, and there is a regulation things like we cannot do certain things. Often like we get these offers from some of our networks like on ramp off ramp services. Because we have a WASP license, we can get in stable coins, we can liquidate that one to give them euros back. When we wanted to do this, we contacted our regulator, like, can we do that? And they said, like, no, you have only for custodian and you have certain things, but you can't do this one because this one needs like a approval and you will have to change your status. It's difficult. So if we are in BVI, probably it's not a big problem. We can do it very easily. So I'm not giving up on that one. Why do you think I'm giving up on that? If I'm giving up on that, like then I will just allow it to go wherever it wants to go. That's what giving up means for me. I just want to like see to that like it is flourishing and it's doing well. And if B3X gets that money, like from that type of investors, what I'm looking at, I will come back to everybody. And once again, I will ask you this question, like whether you want me to lead this company and you want me to merge this company with B3X. Come back to everybody. At that moment, you make the decision and then I will listen to it. Otherwise, like as I said, like all these interested people, like someone we will make a deal. I know this is a horrible time to be in Web3 and you have been under huge pressure lately, but don't make decisions on a hot head, please. We are here for you and with you. I beg you to do the hard thing as you always did and try new things, even if we people have to suffer a bit. I will hardly push for a merger. Thanks, Javi, for saying this. This is really a lot of support. But once again, I said like what I do will be in the interest of you people because I'm just keeping that in mind because I don't want like this company to go down into nothing, and I will not allow that to happen. That's what I'm telling you. I want this company to be alive, flourishing, and go to its fullest of glory. Even today, I can tell you with the strategies that we have with this business, it can be super, super successful. A lot of money can be made, but not in the current kind of business model. It's in a very, very different type of business model. I'm not telling this because I had like few meetings with few people, and these people like one of the guy is also running a venture fund, but he's not in Web3, but he's running a venture fund. He recently started doing some things in crypto, mining and those kind of things, not directly investment or something. And when I was explaining this business to him, he said like he will come back to me after a few days, but he never came back to me even after a week. And then I had a surprise. He contacted me and he just sent me a message on WhatsApp like, "Can you please come on the call tomorrow at 4?" And I was like, "Okay, what time is it?" And for me, it was like 4 a.m. in the morning. So 4 a.m., like I was there on the phone call. And he was showing me those Excel sheets to me. He was telling me, like, Guru, like, how much money do you think like your user has? I said, like, yeah, it will be six figures. It was in the peak, it was supposed to be like 7 million. But now I don't think like it's having that much of money, but maybe six figures or seven figures. I don't know. He made a kind of like projection, like if you have this much of money, if you ask for this much of profit with this much of drawdown, this is the amount of money you will be making. Why you are not making that? And I was like, yeah, like I mean, we are thinking about it. He said, like, don't think it, but do it. Because if they get profits, if you get profits, both of you will be happy. And also these profits, they can be, paying in the tokens. Like for example, if you have a couple of tokens as a credit on your platform, then for doing this trading and for the profit sharing, it will be given in our own tokens. 50% of them can be sold in the open market and 50% will be burnt. So in this way, we will get revenues and we will do that one. And he clearly showed me like how much money can be made with this one. And on that day, it was like an eye opener, very early in the morning. And he was showing me all these things on Excel sheet. And then I was trying to make on my own Excel. And it was really amazing. Like it needs like few $1 million of because we had that in 2022, 7 million on connected AUM. So that much of money, if we have, like then it's going to be amazing business. So it's very much possible. And also, like when you're trading with that amount of money, once you get very, very big money, you can also adjust your trading style depending on the returns. Like, okay, we have made enough money for customers, we have made enough money for ourselves. Let's go slow now a little bit and trade very selectively. And like that, we can fine tune the AI agents also. So there's a lot of things that we can do with these kind of things. So, yeah, I mean, like, definitely I will come to you with that one, but just wish me luck and pray for me so that we can get investments for BQ, B3X. And once we get this B3X, then I come back to you and we make a merger or whatever it is. But I'm sure, like, with B3X and BQ together, the opportunities are endless because the more the TBL, it's good for B3X as a platform and trading volumes. But more the TBL, it's good for BQ because it gets a lot of money from that one. So it becomes so self-sufficient that we will not need the subscriptions anymore at all because that much money can be generated. Imagine like if we have um, $1 million, just keep it, and we make 10% out of it, which is like $100,000. So, and presently, like the profit sharing is 15% on, like this for BCube. So if it gets 15% of that money, it's making already good amount of money. And in DeFi, $1 million is a very silly TVL. So decent TVL will be something like 10 to $15 million. That's a kind of very decent TVL. If you go to DeFi Llama and check it yourself on DeFi Llama, you will feel it. You will see it like DeFi protocols, what types of TVL they have. Ethena has $5 billion. Aave has $10 billion. So huge amount of money is there. So we are I'm telling billions now. Let's forget all those things. Just 10 million. We will be making close to $200,000 every single month for BCube in this way. So when we have that kind of money, we can also like buy back our own tokens with our own money, which will lead to like open market buying, the pump, and then rest of the money spent on KOLs and other things. This is the way to do it. So it always needs money and it always needs a different type of planning. And for that one, we need to get this money for B3X. Once we have the money on B3X from very, very leading investors, we will ask them to put the money on B3X as a TVL. And from that TVL, BCube will trade and BCube make its own profits. B3X will make protocol money, protocol fees, and B3X will make trading fees on that one. So both the companies will go hand in hand and together. So that's the kind of thing I have. So just pray for me that we will be able to raise for B3X. And if B3X tokens is hitting the markets, it will not hit the market with less than $700 million in fully diluted value, which means like for all the BQ community, like who have bought the tokens at 20, $30 million or $24 million, something of that range. So we'll be making 20x on that investments, 20x. And this will be a huge listing on centralized exchanges with very big market makers and everything. Potential is huge. So Simon, I will stand by you all the way. I hope for the merger and for you, leaders. Thanks, Simon. Thanks. Simon and me, like we always speak like very um, closely, like almost all the time. Um, Harvey, it sounds good, but we are here for the trust we have on you. If you wanted to get rich quick, we would have run long ago. Look, 6 months ago, I had more than $50,000 on BQ. Did not sold a single coin that I did not bought again. We will never be able to trust someone as we trust you. Thanks for all your trust, Harvey. Like, as you know, like and that's one of the like thing like which makes me to think so much about uh, protecting the investors. This is why I think so much about that, because it's not like a random project. If you think, and if you've seen like all those times that we have spent together, like those days, like when we didn't even have a token, when we didn't even have any idea about it, when we were just there like trading on bulls and bears altcoin bot what we had, those were the times like what we spent, and we have come together in this one. And like even when last year the token went to 89 cents, I didn't sell a single token. Not even a single token. I haven't even claimed my founder's token on the smart contract. If you see the smart contract, you will know like I haven't got any tokens there. My employees got the tokens. Our advisors got the tokens. Our scientific advisor got the token. We brought in three more researchers. They got the token. I never sold the tokens. I never got the tokens also. So we are pretty much in the same way, and I know and I see it, and that's why I'm trying to create value and I'm trying to create meaning for all those investments, and I will really do it. What is everyone's stand on this issue? Look, like I spoke to Erwan. Initially he had a lot of questions also on this subject, and we discussed a lot, and he was also thinking like look, like investments is so difficult to get. And last year, like when we raised one round, and that was for B3X, but we also told them like, look, we will use it for BCUBE also. And they were like, okay, but we want some piece of it also. We said like, okay, fine. We will make some equity for you there. And we made it. And they were fine with that one. So every time we are doing that one, and we were thinking like actually B3X would have already got the money. We had like some investors back in November and December, but we didn't release the product yet. So we couldn't go to them. Always we were thinking like, okay, let's release the product and then go to them to show something, and to they will also feel something about it. So that didn't happen. And January 31st, we were supposed to launch the product also. And what happened on January 31st was we could come very close to it, but we found we discovered something very new. um, like in normal software development, you have development environment, you have staging, and you have the normal production environment. So in web3 also we have the same thing, but the behavior on the testnet is entirely different from the behavior on the mainnet, because when we were doing everything on the testnet, everything was doing on good, and we cannot just push it on the mainnet and then come back to the testnet once again. We can't do that, because once you come on the mainnet, you have to deploy the smart contracts. So if you find something is not good coming back to the testnet, then you will have to get your smart contracts on the mainnet audited once again, which will cost you a lot of money, $5 to $10,000 every time. And then you will have to, like relaunch the smart contract once again. So it's a lots and lots of things. And what we saw on the testnet, we were still doing it. It was all working fine. But the query is not happening on the mainnet. It was not working the way how it is. We went back to the injective team. We were asking them like, look, this is not working in the same way. Like, what do you think? And they were like, oh, uh, we don't know. Like, maybe it should work. And then we were searching for so many things and we didn't know. And then we came to know like the network was down for some time, and we need to use a different type of sequencer and indexing and other things. So then we changed it. And then like something else was not working. because this was a kind of like external thing what we integrated it on the platform, because this one we didn't test it on the testnet, because there is nothing like that for testnet. This is there only for the mainnet. So these are the complexities like what we didn't know, and we didn't see it also like coming in this way. Everybody was shocked in this way. So we came to this point like, okay, we will do that one, and then we will see like what is going to happen. And that's why all these things got it. And after Trump got elected, this idiot promised so many things, but he didn't do it so many. He didn't do so many things what he said, or he is just doing for his own interest, not in the interest of people or something. Typical politicians, they always do in their own interest, nothing in our interest. And markets fell down very badly. And when markets started to fall down, many of the investments stopped to invest. Those people who have money also, they were completely very selective. Some pre-seed funds pivoted to seed and pre-seed pre no seed and series A fund. And pre-seed funds like started to reduce a lot. Pre-seed means like very early traction, or you just have an MVP, or you don't have any product at all. So that is pre-seed. All these pre-seed VCs like now they are saying like, no, we are not doing pre-seed, we are doing only seed and series A. So if you're in there, we will invest in that. That category went away. Some other investors, I went back to BCube investors. They were all like, oh, sure, great. But you know what? We invested in a lot of tokens. This is our list. They sent me, Excel sheets and everything, what they invested, which company. 90% of those companies have not listed. They didn't go to TGE. So all their money is blocked. And the projects are saying like this is not the right time to list it, which is true. If you list it now, like nothing will happen. It will just dump. So they don't want to do it. So their money is completely locked there. And there are like third category of people like who have invested money already, and those tokens hit the TGE also, but they are down very badly. So they can't do anything. And there are some other kind of investors like who are into OTC, who are trading on meme tokens, everything like they lost completely so much of money. So this is the situation, and like we didn't get like those kind of people that we wanted to get, but still the discussion is happening very actively. Today also in the morning, like 11:30, I had a call. Tomorrow also I have a call, because in Web3 there is no Saturdays and Sundays, like people work all the time. For me, like there is no weekends at all. Like I'm always on my desk. So I'm having calls like next week's also, like with many other investors also. And like now with Dubai also, I'm funding myself completely. I'm not taking anything from the company or something, because there is not that much. So I'm funding myself and I'm going to Dubai. I asked like for some of my old contacts to give me opportunity in some pitching competition. I made some good friends at least. So they said to me like, okay, we will push you there. Like, come, we have put your name on the pitch. Like, just come here and pitch. And there are some investors. Like, just see like what is possible. Excuse me. So even in these investors also there is two type of investors. One is a lead investor, one is a follow-on investor. So lead investor is somebody who makes all the terms, like what is the vesting, what is the valuation, what are the terms of the investments, everything. And the follow-on investor will invest at the same term. So we have follow-on investors. We have three follow-on investors. They can do $500,000 in this pre-seed round of 1 million. But we need a lead investor, because why lead investor is important. The follow-on investor doesn't have his team to do all the due diligence on the project, due diligence on the founders, due diligence on all the documents that we will share in the data room or deal room or something. Lead investor will have that kind of setup in his team. Like they will have a DD person, a due diligence person. He will call us for an interview. He will ask us a lot of questions. He will dig into the founders. He will dig into our past, our history, our entrepreneurial experiences, and he will go through all those financial projections and everything that we are doing, market opportunity, go to market strategy. And then they will say like, okay, everything is good, like let's go ahead with that one. So that's why like we have follow-on investors, but we need like lead investors now. So that's what we need now. So coming to the answer, like yes, Erwan is not really. I mean, like having any opinion, but he said like whatever is my opinion that he takes. And I also discussed about like some people showed interest in taking over BQ. He was telling like yes, it's a hard decision, but if it's in good interest of the company and the investors, we should consider. Otherwise, like both of us like are still, like our heart and our mind still says like no, do the merger and keep it. But yeah, like we are just keeping the options open. I just hope you will grown, be more humble in this new project. Um, Sorry, I didn't get that. Is there a third option in which we outsource part of the management to someone you think is capable to do it even better than you, but we keep the research and development on your hands? It's not possible. It's technically not possible because once they get the access to all the AWS or all the code base or something, and they will need all the access to research and development also. We cannot give that partial access, and nobody would like to come as a partner like who cannot have access to some sensitive things. Even with our team, like except the CTO and one more person, like no one has access to sensitive information, like not even for our own employees. But at least for those two people it is very necessary, because if they have to integrate the execution engine, or if some agent is not performing like how we wanted it to perform, we have to see it. Then we have to dig into SFSS to see like if there is any issues there, or issues is coming from the exchange side, like what exactly is going on. So all those customers tickets, like when we get it, like we will have to see the entire base. Only then we can solve the problem. So masking like part of the things, it's not technically feasible, because the moment like someone comes, they need access to AWS server, and on the AWS server, like we will have everything, and it's all interlinked. SFSS is linked to execution engine is linked to something else, like the IP services like of different location based IPs. So everything is like linked, it's like one unit. So any more questions? Yeah, let's hope for the best. I really hope so that this is the last bump that we will face, and yeah, everything is going to be all right very soon. I just hope so. Once we raise it, and then I will come for this final decision, and then whatever is the decision, like let's go ahead with that one. All right, guys. Like if there is no more questions, then we will finish it here. Okay, guys. Then thanks for being here, and thanks for all your support and everything that you have given to me, and all your trust and everything. As always, like I keep doing my best, and I will always do my best, and I will do the best thing what is possible for the project and which is in the interest of everybody. Selling is not my option. It's not my first option, of course, but that is one of the options. So let's hope that like next week we meet, next month we will meet again, and we will have different subjects to speak. But for now, that's it. And I thank you all for your attention and for being here. And I wish you happy Easter and have a nice weekend, guys. Thank you so much. Thanks.